start Periscope.
Are we good? Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to all of you on Periscope. And I'm so glad that you have all come to listen today. We're going to be talking about some really great stuff and how we can understand how our bodies work better. And so I have the privilege, my name is Tamara Sayer, I have the privilege of introducing a very good friend of mine. She is a natural healthcare practitioner, and she has the biggest heart of anybody I know, and she has great knowledge, and she's great at just looking at your scenario and your situation and understanding all the little bits and pieces and how they go together, whether it's a medical side or it's a natural healthcare side, and she's just great at putting all those pieces together and helping you come up with a solution for your own body. And so it's my privilege to introduce Julie Formby, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks, Tamara.
So last week we started by talking about bone and joint health as well as athletic health, and we're at the second week of this series, which is about blood sugar and weight loss. And interestingly, the two of these things are related. And I think this is an interesting slide to begin with because it shows what's happening in our country. So beginning in 1994, these pale and yellow zones show that there was less than 4.5% diabetes in the population in these regions, and less than 14% people were obese, 1994, in this light pale yellow region. And as the colors get darker, that's a higher and higher percentage of people who are obese and suffering from diabetes within our country. So by 2010, look how red and orange the maps are. So up to over 26% of the people in the red regions are obese, and over 9% in the red regions on the bottom map are diabetic. So this is a real problem within our country, and it's a real crisis. So blood sugar issues can either be high blood sugar or low blood sugar. If you have too much insulin or too much blood sugar, then that's called hyperglycemia or diabetes, and you don't have enough insulin production to keep up with that. And this insufficient production of insulin begins first with an overproduction of insulin. So when you're dumping glucose, or when you're eating lots of sugary foods and you're dumping glucose into your blood, then your pancreas pumps out tons of insulin, and it's able to compensate, and that drops your blood sugar. So then you're hypoglycemic. So that's an acute form of a blood sugar issue. And then once the pancreas gets tired over time, if you do this over and over to yourself, pretty soon it's not able to produce enough anymore, and that's where you get hyperglycemia or high blood sugar. Then we also have a situation called insulin resistance, and that's where the cells are unaffected by insulin. So no matter how much insulin your body makes, it doesn't have an effect upon your blood sugar. And quite a few people are in this situation as well. And it's just due to that not being careful with your diet, but then there's a few other issues as well, a few other causes that tie in with this. So symptoms of blood sugar issues: headaches. So did you know that if you have a headache in the front of your head, up here in your forehead, that can be a sign of low blood sugar? It's opposite. And if it's in the back of your head, back here, then that can be high blood sugar. So it's actually opposite of what's going on with your blood sugar. So that can be a sign, not always, but if you're having headaches and they're always in the same place, check your blood sugar and see if that might be the issue. Sugar cravings, that can be a sign. We all know how addictive sugar is, and that it lights up the same receptors in your brain as opiates and recreational drugs. If you're jittery when you get hungry and you haven't eaten for a while and you start getting shaky, that can be a blood sugar issue. Tired after meals. So you eat some lunch, keep working, and you're falling asleep at the computer, or you want to take a nap in your armchair. That can be that your blood sugar's soared from your lunchtime meal, and then it's dropped. And when it drops, then you get sleepy. If you wake at night for no reason, that can be a sign of a blood sugar issue. So a lot of times as a practitioner, when I'm working with people who have sleep issues, I'll ask them questions like, well, is it hard for you to fall asleep? Or do you wake up for no reason? Or is it easy for you to fall asleep and hard to get up in the morning? And all these questions kind of tell us what's going on with different organs. But if you wake for no reason, that's a defense mechanism of your body to get you roused. It gives you a little adrenaline pump, so you wake up and that gets your blood sugar raised again. So a lot of times if people wake up at night, it's a sign that their blood sugar is dropping too low. And we hear about this, with diabetics a lot of times, that they just pass in the night. And it's because that it's dropping too low or going too high. If you feel lightheaded or feel like passing out, that can be a blood sugar issue. Weight gain, especially belly fat. This is a telltale sign that you're on a diabetic track. You're in the acute stages of diabetes or chronic stages of diabetes if you struggle with fat around the middle. And this is a huge problem we see in this culture. And it's due primarily to our diet, but we're also going to talk about some of the other reasons in a little while. If you are more in the chronic phase of blood sugar issues and you're like right at the door of diabetes and you're at the onset, what they call the onset of diabetes, you might experience frequent urination all the time in the bathroom, more than is normal. Weight loss. So a lot of times diabetics think, pre-diabetics think, this is great, I'm losing weight, everything's cool. Well, what's happening is their muscles are actually atrophying. So it's very serious, and you're not necessarily losing weight in the area that's telltale sign that you have blood sugar issues. A lack of energy and excessive thirst. So you just can't seem to get enough to drink. There's other things that can cause this, but if you have multiple symptoms, then it's something to pay attention to, that you may have a blood sugar issue. So some of the causes of blood sugar issues, first can be genetics, so like type 1 diabetes, that's typically inherited. Most people don't get that later in life. It can happen, but it's typically inherited. And there's even some discrepancy about whether or not it's truly genetic or if it's a predisposition that's turned on through nutrition. And there's a whole field of study called epigenetics, and we'll talk about a man who's written a book on this and how there's so many diseases that we typically think of as genetic, but they may or may not be expressed in the person depending on what their nutrition is or what the nutrition of the mother is while the baby's in utero. Diet is another cause for blood sugar issues. So we all know, we hear all the time about the problems that we have with flour and sugar and processed things, high fructose corn syrup. And we get kind of tired about it and we roll our eyes, but it really is a problem. We have gone so far away from eating the way that we were designed to eat. Whole foods, foods right from the earth, fruits, vegetables, meat, dairy, eggs, that type of thing, to eating everything in a box, everything that's being processed. And it's horrible on our health, and that's why we see the rise in the obesity and the diabetes that we saw on the maps in the very first slide. And then another cause is obesity. So you eat your processed fruits, with your diet you become obese, and that further propels you toward having a problem with blood sugar issues and toward diabetes. So I love this slide because it shows really the state of things within this country. And even though we spend more than all the other countries in the world on our healthcare, we have huge problems. We're 60th in life expectancy, 41st in infant mortality. We should be like down at the bottom of the list with everything that we spend in healthcare and with all the prevention, the preventive medicine that we supposedly have. It's just not working. And now 1 in 3 Americans are diabetic or pre-diabetic, and the fastest growing segment is teenagers. So the big gulps that are like the 5-gallon size that you see kids drinking, it's horrible on the health. And there's no protein, there's no fiber to slow this down. It's like taking an injection right into the veins. So 116.4 million people are diagnosed in this country as diabetic or pre-diabetic. Isn't that crazy? And we're what, 250 million people? Are we up to 300 yet? So half the population practically is diabetic or pre-diabetic. And then we're also the most obese nation in the world. So let's talk a little bit about the cost of being sick, the cost of type 2 diabetes. So I did a little research on the internet, and the lifetime cost of type 2 diabetes runs anywhere from $44,000 to $211,000. And this depends on like the onset of diabetes. So if you start when you're 40 years old, you're going to be closer to this $211,000 figure by the time you die. I don't know about you, but I'd love to have $250,000 in my pocket, not in medical bills. The annual cost to Americans for diabetes is $322 billion. That's huge. $1,000 per person per year that we spend just on diabetes alone. And that's not counting all the other things like heart disease and cancer and, you know, all the other top killers. The annual per capita spending is $13,966. So if you have type 2 diabetes, you spend on average an extra $13,000 a year, $1,000 a month. The survival rate, 21% less people diagnosed at age 40 reach 80 years of age. So it's pretty grim. And then we have a similar comparison for the cost of obesity. So the lifetime cost of obesity, it can cost you up to $39,000 more than the average person. It seems like maybe that's a less expensive disease, but remember that that can lead to diabetes. So then you can add that right on top of it. And then you can add knee replacements and hip replacements and all those, and those run about $100,000. So it gets really pricey really fast. And the annual per capita spending on obesity is around $13,000 a year. So it's a similar cost, but I don't know why the lifetime cost isn't a little higher. Insulin alone can cost $120 to $400 per person per month. Ton of money. And the cost to manufacture it is only 50 to 75 cents a gram. It's marked up a lot. So this slide down here, why medical bills are killing us, it's because of the markups and all the middlemen in between. Last week when we talked about joint replacements, there's 13 different layers of people in between the manufacturer and the consumer with joint replacements. There's 13 different layers, so all these people are making money along the way. And the device, I think, cost only like $350, and they mark it up to several tens of thousands of dollars. So there's two different theories when you look at healthcare issues and how to take care of that. There's the traditional medical model, which this is kind of a crude way of saying it, but it's poison, cut, burn, and replace. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but medications, prescription medications, all have side effects. And then you have those side effects to deal with. They're not the same as taking a plant or taking an herb to take care of your health. So metformin and insulin, those are forms of poison that have their side effects. Yes, they can help manage the disease for a period of time, but there's all these other side effects that come along with it. Then with diabetes, quite frequently people don't have good circulation in their limbs. They end up with gangrene, infection, sometimes amputation. It's pretty common. Then, if you continue on with eating a high sugar diet, and it's not just high sugar, we're going to talk about more of the causes. And I think it was cut off at the bottom of this last slide, but it's also mineral deficiencies. So if you're deficient in specific nutrients, then that contributes to blood sugar issues as well. But if you're not careful with your diet, then that's also going to increase your risk of cancer, because cancer loves sugar. And then after it's cut off, you just replace it. But it's never the same as what you were created with. The other theory that is near and dear to my heart and why I got into doing what I do is actually finding a solution that allows people to keep their parts and restore their health. And this is the same philosophy as Dr. Wallach. And we're going to talk more about him in a minute, but his philosophy is to strengthen and feed your tissues. So for blood sugar, it's strengthen and feed the pancreas. There's a couple other organs that are involved with balancing your blood sugar. Your adrenals, as well as your liver, help with balancing your blood sugar, and if those aren't functioning right, then you're going to have trouble. But Dr. Wallach's approach is to strengthen and feed those tissues so that they can do their job and heal from the inside out. So healthy blood sugar can be restored through diet and supplementation. It doesn't have to be a pharmaceutical route that people take that just kind of snowballs and creates more and more problems. So I love this quote from Dr. Joel Wallach. This is the founder of the company that we're going to be talking about today, which is Longevity, and he coined the phrase 90 for life because there's 90 essential nutrients that everybody needs in order to be healthy. If you don't have these nutrients, then you're going to have all sorts of health problems. And he specifically mapped these out through doing over 38,000 animal autopsies, and quite a few of those autopsies were also on humans, around 10,000. So it's not just animals that he specializes in, but he was able to find the root of all disease. And Dr. Wallach says it's not just what you eat that kills you, it's what you don't eat. The key to health is giving your body all the 90 essential nutrients it needs. So I talked about how diet is important with diabetes and with managing blood sugar, but we have a problem in this country and around the world, and that is that our soils are depleted. So even if we're eating the right foods, we're not eating sugary processed foods and high fructose corn syrup, we're still not getting the nutrients that we need just by eating foods. Because if the nutrients are not in the soil, then the roots of the plants are not able to uptake those nutrients, and then we're not able to take them in through our foods. And then the animals that we eat, cows, chickens, pigs, all that, if they're eating the same plants that don't have the nutrients in them, and we eat the animals, then we're still not getting the nutrients. So this slide is a representation of what's happened over time with soil depletion. So back when we started mechanizing farming and industrializing farming and adding in pesticides and chemical fertilizers, we were only replenishing 3 specific nutrients to the soil, and that's sodium, potassium, and phosphorus. If the human body needs 90 nutrients, then there's a whole other 87 that are being left off, if all that we're putting is 3 back into the soil. So back in the early 1900s, this was what the soil, the mineral content was in the soils of our phosphorus and selenium and copper. All of these are so important to different functions of our body. And you can see here how it's declined over the last 100, 115 years. But at the same time, look what's happened to disease. So we have seen the rise of cancer and obesity and asthma, bone deformities like we talked about last week, heart conditions, even tinnitus. Ringing in your ears is related to a mineral deficiency. So if you don't get it from your food, then where should you get it? And I recommend supplementation to all of my clients. It used to be that I would come up with a very customized approach for each of my clients, and we would find the specific things that they needed, and I'd find that they'd have a whole bunch of bottles of things that they needed to take, because if you only give one nutrient at a time, you're going to need 90 bottles, right? All supplements are not created equal. And we're going to tell you about some wonderful supplements that include it all in one thing. It tastes delicious. It gives you everything that you need in one drink. So most mineral supplements, like the ones that I've used in the past, are derived from elemental minerals. Now I knew better because I knew that our bodies weren't made to process rocks and soil and dirt. I knew that plants had to do the work for us. So that's partially why I'm an herbalist. And there's other amazing chemical properties within herbs that are helpful to our body that are the basis for what prescription medications have been made from. They just take the chemical form and synthesize it and isolate a specific component from an herb and make that. But it's not complete. It's not complete like the entire plant. So we see most supplements are incomplete. They're isolates of a specific nutrient. And if they're made from rocks, like calcium carbonate, for instance, then it's only 8 to 12% absorbable by the body. So there's another, 80 to 90% that you're not getting. And that's why you hear about, you know, oh, vitamins are a waste, they end up in the toilet. Well, if you're not absorbing them, then they are a waste. We already talked about how plants can convert these. And this is the solution that I use for all my clients now. This is the base. It's Youngevity's 90 for Life supplements, and they include plant-derived minerals that are from an exclusive mine in Utah, and it's ancient plant material that's pressed between layers of shale, and because it's ancient, it contains the 90 essential nutrients that we need. It contains, well, not quite 90, but it contains over 60 of the minerals, and then we add in the vitamins and other components that we need through the other supplements. So we have 3 basic supplements. We have the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That's the vitamin and mineral powder. It tastes delicious. There's 2 flavors. There's a tangerine and there's a peach flavor. This is the base. Then everybody needs extra calcium, and they need extra additional nutrients that help build the soft matrix of the bone, as well as your cartilage, tendons, and ligaments. So that's included in the Beyond Osteo Effects. So Beyond, I love how a friend of mine explains it, that it means further than, more than. Osteo is bone, and effects is function. So more than bone function. And that's what this does for you. It's more than bones, it's also for your soft tissues. And then we have essential fatty acids, which are good for your brain, they're good for your nerves, good for your skin, all sorts of things that are very important. So these minerals, because they're from plants, because they're from a source that's mineral rich, are up to 98% absorbable. And they're in a liquid form that makes them, they're in these colloidal, nanoparticle, itty bitty, tiny size that they can get right into the nucleus of the cell. And we know that all health begins with the cell. So there's over 40 years of research that goes into these products. Dr. Wallach has confirmed each nutrient deficiency and how it's linked to multiple diseases. So this man was able to eliminate over 900 diseases. And I think that's pretty incredible. There's an average of 10 nutrients linked to every, or 10 diseases linked to every nutrient deficiency. So we have 900 diseases, 90 times 10, 900. These are organized in the most powerful form available, and they're the core of all of our products, all of our packs that we offer. So we have 6 different packs that we offer. Each one is focused on a different health issue, so it makes it very simple. You don't have to be a health practitioner to be able to do this. You just isolate what the specific issue is, and there's an isolate of the nutrients that are pulled from the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. There's an isolated set of nutrients to address a specific health issue. So this is the blood sugar pack that we're talking about today, and we're also going to be talking about the weight loss pack. And we're going to go into detail about some of the ingredients in these additional products. So I think it's really important that people know why these products work. So in Beyond Osteo Effects, it contains calcium. Calcium is really important for turning on insulin production. So if you don't have enough calcium, then you're also going to struggle with producing enough insulin. Vitamin D, we all know, is needed to absorb calcium. If you don't have enough vitamin D, then you're not going to absorb calcium. So this is another component of the Beyond Osteo Effects. So this is the bone product that I was talking about in this blue canister. Magnesium, we also know that that works together with calcium, right? Everybody knows that you take calcium and magnesium together. Well, not only is it good for your bones, but it shuts off insulin production. So magnesium is good for helping you relax at night. It's good for helping you have regular bowel movements, all sorts of things. But did you know that it helps with managing your blood sugar? So in this situation where you're overproducing insulin and you go hypoglycemic, it could be that you actually have a magnesium deficiency. So I think that's really curious. And there's so much emphasis in this culture on taking vitamin D because it's good for calcium, good for your bones, and it prevents cancer and everything. But if you're only taking vitamin D, what's happening to your calcium? you get an excessive amount, right? So then what happens to magnesium? If the two balance each other, calcium and magnesium are balancing your blood sugar. So this may be part of the problem why there's so many blood sugar issues in this country and why they're accelerating. There is such a huge emphasis on this, taking vitamin D supplements. Vitamin A works with magnesium. So if you want to increase magnesium in your body, you need vitamin A to hold on to it, just like you need vitamin D to hold on to calcium. So you see how everything works together, and you don't want to take just one thing or two things. And that's why I love this Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It has everything that you need in there, and then there's magnified amounts in additional supplements that you can add on the top without getting yourself out of balance. There's also another product within Longevity called OsteoMag. Are you guys familiar with that? Okay, so like when I do hair analysis and I see that people are deficient in magnesium, this is the product that I add, is the OsteoMag, and you can just add it on top of everything else. Sweeties is the additional product that's added in the blood sugar pack. And Sweeties, the two primary minerals are chromium and vanadium. So it's important to understand that chromium is the central atom in glucose tolerance factor. So it does exactly what it says. It helps your body tolerate glucose. It also transports insulin into the cells. So when you're insulin resistant, you may be producing all this insulin, but it's not able to get into the cell. You have to have this key to unlock the cell and let it get inside. And chromium acts like the key so that you can get the insulin into the cell and lower your blood sugar. So high blood sugar is because it's not getting into the cell, it's just continuing to float around. Okay? And glucose tolerance factor, GTF, is composed of niacin, which is a B vitamin, B3. It's composed of amino acids, which amino acids are so important. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a huge emphasis on taking vitamins, right? But you need amino acids first. Then you need minerals, then you need vitamins. So it's kind of like a pyramid if you think about it, and I should put that on the slide for next time. But you have to have amino acids in order to utilize vitamins and in order to utilize minerals. You can't get it backwards and think that if I just take vitamins, it's going to help me. So that's another reason why these products are so amazing, because there's 12 amino acids in this product. There's 16 vitamins, there's 60 minerals. It's all included, it's all one package, just like food. And it is from food, it's from plant-derived minerals. And there's also 115 fruits and vegetables that are included in this, so it's whole food. Vanadium is the other mineral that's really important for managing blood sugar, and that acts like a mimic to insulin. So if you want to cut down on your insulin, increase your chromium and vanadium. And then this product also has several herbs in it. Gymnema, awesome. Cinnamon, bitter melon, jambalin seed. All of these help to lower blood sugar and help balance it. If you have low blood sugar, and this is something that's not in this product, but it's in some of our other products, you want licorice root. That helps raise blood sugar. These lower it. And then metformin, there's a herbal form of that, which is golden seal. So some people say that it's as powerful as metformin to take golden seal and use it for blood sugar issues. That's if you have high blood sugar. It's good for a lot of other things too, like digestive issues and if you have internal bleeding, all sorts of stuff. So we talked a little bit about the cost of disease before, and I want to put it side by side with nutrition, with Dr. Wallach's protocol. So in the traditional medical model, if you have blood sugar issues, you would spend around $7,700 a year if you have insurance. If you don't have insurance, it would be this amount, like we talked about earlier. This is the cost for the healthy body. Oh, I have bone and joint back there. I need to fix it. It should be the blood sugar pack. Is $148 a month, which works out to only $1,776 a year. And it's crazy because people say I can't afford supplements, but they can afford this or this. So it's really, you have to choose where do you want to invest your money. and how healthy do you want to be. So the other pack that we're going to talk today about is weight loss, the weight loss pack. And actually blood sugar and weight loss are so related. We talked about belly fat. If you have trouble with belly fat, it may be that you have a blood sugar issue. And you can try to lose weight all day long, but you got to get your blood sugar managed. If you have hormone issues, that can be a blood sugar issue, and that's going to contribute to weight gain and not being able to lose weight. If your adrenals are exhausted, or if you're pumping out too much cortisol because of high stress, that contributes to weight gain around the belly. We're going to talk about more of the causes in a little while. So the companion product to the 90 for Life is ASAP, which means as slim as possible. That's added in to make what we call the weight loss pack. And contained in that are the following ingredients. So resveratrol is actually a very powerful antioxidant, but it activates this SIRT1 gene, which burns adipose tissue. So the fat around the belly, it burns it by activating this gene. Picomelin is an additional component that helps reduce stress and helps you feel calm while you're losing weight. So when you work with the ASAP product in the weight loss pack, there's two different menu plans or diet plans that you could choose. So it is a calorie restricted diet that you eat while you're taking this product, and the Picomelin just helps you be a little bit more calm about it. So you can choose how quickly you want to lose weight. There's a fast method, that's about 500 calories a day. What's really amazing is when you're on this product, you do not feel hungry. Animals, eat dirt and chew on fence posts because they're lacking minerals. And farmers know that they need to put out a salt lick for this animal. They need to give them minerals. The same thing happens with us. We're craving because we're starving to death. We may be eating food, but it doesn't have the nutrients that we need. We need the salt lick. That's what the 90 for Life is. Then we also have 3 more amino acids that are within the ASAP product, and each of them helps with burning fat and converting fat into energy. This one's very interesting, arginine. This also increases nitric oxide production. So it's going to send oxygen to extremities. This helps a lot of time with sexual dysfunction. So does this one, tribulus. It increases testosterone production. So men tend to have leaner bodies than women, and with all the estrogens in our foods, in our environment, and plastics, and everything in our environment, we tend to have more estrogen in our bodies than we should. This helps us lose weight by establishing more of a balance between testosterone and estrogen. And then epimedium extract increases male sex hormones also. It increases blood flow, and it gives dieters more resilience. So these are the 2 plans, and I can give you the website after we finish here. We also have a weekly healthy living call that Joanne here does, and it's a support call for people. It started as a support call for people losing weight, and it's grown into so much more. We talk about all kinds of health topics, but if you need the help and you need the support, it's there. And I would like to invite Joanne up and have her just share her testimony about using the weight loss pack and what her results were. Typically people lose around a half a pound to a pound a day if they follow the strict plan here. And it's amazing. Not only do you lose weight, but you lose inches. And that's a really exciting thing. We see people dropping dress sizes within weeks. So come on up, Joanne, and just tell us about your experience.
Well, I actually started on just the Healthy Start Pack, the 3 products, about 3 years ago, and just in doing that, I lost between 15 and 20 pounds because I was getting nutrients that my body wasn't getting before. Then I did maybe about a year ago, I did ASAP, and I actually lost the first time I did it like 17 pounds, and the next time I did it about 10. And I've maintained a good 15 to 17 of that. And so that it's just really helps you. But the other great part of it is that I lost a lot of inches. I wished I would have written down, I mean, I did write it down, but I didn't bring it today, but I actually went down 2 sizes in my clothes. So it really is a great product, and like Julie said, it's amazing when you're taking the 3 products, the 90, and then you do the ASAP. It's much easier because you are feeding your body all the nutrients that it needs, so you don't have the hunger that you have in a normal diet. And I actually did not do the 500, I did the other one, and that worked really well for me. And I've had friends that have also done it that have been very successful at that. So, but here's the other key. You have to change your eating habits. You can't, and the reason that I put some back on is that, you know, I wasn't as good this summer, and so then I regained some of that. And I know that. So,
Yeah, thanks
so
for
thank
sharing.
you.
Thank
Yes.
you. And then I forgot, we have someone here who has experience with the blood sugar, the healthy blood sugar pack. Would you be willing to share your
Sure.
testimony and what happened with you when you started taking the sweeties? Okay.
What?
This is Frank,
Yes.
and he has a pretty incredible story. And I've heard a lot of really good stories about people in longevity products, but I'm always shocked when I hear what can happen in a very short amount of time with blood sugar. So,
Well, I started taking the 90 for life plus the sweeties, and after started taking that, my blood sugars started dropping about 10 points a day. In the first 10 days, it went down a little over 75 points. And now that I've been on it a little longer, my diabetic neuropathy in my feet and legs went away after about
wow.
2 months. I'd say 90% went away. And last summer I was to the point I couldn't even walk at some point.
Wow.
And then also, being a long-term diabetic with all these associated problems, I experienced a problem here about 4 years ago. I actually went blind for a day, and they determined that's diabetic retinopathy and proliferative diabetic retinopathy, diabetic edema on the macula. So I was taking injections in the eyes, starting out at every 30 days.
Yeah.
And you're talking about cost. When I started, it was out of pocket. It was $5,000 per set of injections.
Oh my gosh.
every 30 days.
We have to add that to this line.
So I had some choices there of go blind or pay $5,000 a month. And I've got that cost down some since then, out of the doctor's thing. But anyway, so I stretched it out to about 8 weeks of injection, time between injections. Well, now in the last 2 sessions, I didn't have to have the injections because the swelling of the edema had gone away. That's after 2 months.
Yay!
2 months on the product.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
So that's nice to go in and get checked and not have to have your eyes poked.
Yeah. Wow. Yay! I love hearing stories like this.
That's pretty freaky to get your eyes poked.
No kidding.
And you were talking about the cost for insulin. My cost for insulin is right around $1,000 a month.
Oh my gosh.
It might be the special kind I'm taking, or
The amount?
amount.
I'm going to increase it. I'm going to change the slides.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So, anyway.
So this is a better savings for you, huh?
Well, yeah.
And you have better health.
So,
Thanks
there
for
you go.
sharing. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah. That's a great testimony.
Very amazing. So these are some real people who've lost weight on the Healthy Body Weight Loss Pack. And the good thing about this plan is that if you continue to follow the diet, like Joanne said, that you keep the weight off. It's very possible. It's rapid weight loss, and it stays off. So last week we talked about how Dr. Wallach was originally an animal doctor, and then he became a naturopathic doctor and started working with humans. And he brought his knowledge about dosing according to weight from working with animals to working with humans. And this is something that a lot of times we don't think about. You know, one a day, you take one a day, whether you weigh 100 pounds or 300 pounds. Well, you need a lot more nutrients to go around if you're 300 pounds. So this is important to keep in mind when you purchase a Healthy Body Start Pack, is that you dose it according to your weight. So each pack is for a 100-pound person. If you weigh 200, then you need to double it. If you have absorption issues, you want to add in some enzymes. I see this all the time with hair analysis, that people may be taking the 90 essentials, but they still may not be absorbing it. Even though it's 98% absorbable, if you don't have the enzymes in your stomach to deal with it and in your intestines, then you're not going to absorb it. So if you have issues and you know about it, and even if you don't and you want to make sure that you're fully utilizing all of your products, then take enzymes. Also, give it at least 90 days. I usually tell people, if you've had a health issue for 30 years, then you need to give me that many months to try to help you reverse it. A lot of times people think after 2 weeks, if they don't feel a difference, that it's no good and it didn't help. We see some amazing stories like we did with Frank, but sometimes it takes longer for people. Dr. Wallach recommends at least 90 days. That's a good time to see if it's really making a difference for you. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. So this is part of what Joanne was talking about. A few extra suggestions that I give to people who are wanting to lose weight or balance their blood sugar is to eat every 4 hours. Don't go too long between meals because your blood sugar drops. You want to keep it nice and steady and stable. Another way you can do that is by eating protein at every meal. Protein slows down the release of blood sugar, of glucose into the bloodstream. Fats do the same thing. So plenty of good fats, butter, avocados, meats that have fat on them. I don't mean eat hunks of fat, but that have marbling in them. Eggs, it's all healthy fats. You need it for your brain. Don't believe low fat is healthy. Eat major on vegetables, limit your fruits. So I even tell people, if you wake at night for no reason, don't eat fruit after 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Don't eat anything sugary because, excuse me, you're going to have a crash while you're trying to sleep, and you don't want that. So keep it nice and steady with vegetables and fruit. Thank you. Not fruit, limiting fruit. Focus on low glycemic foods. So we're in this low carb, zero carb craze right now. That's going to produce its own set of problems. You need carbohydrates, but the key is that you don't spike your blood sugar. You don't want to do like Chipotle, for instance. If you have a Chipotle burrito, that's 150 grams of carbs. That's what some people should eat in an entire day, depending on your situation. If you want to lose weight, you want to eat less than that. I recommend that people eat less than 10 grams of net carbs per meal. So you're still getting carbs, but you're not getting a huge amount where you're skyrocketing your blood sugar and then it's crashing, because this is what wears out your pancreas. You want to keep it nice and steady, nice and stable. Eat often, eat protein, eat fats, limit your fruits, limit your sugars, limit carbs, but don't eliminate them. I think it's really bad for your health. And does everybody know how to figure net carbs? It's total carbohydrates minus total fiber when you read a package. 10 grams. Increase your water intake. That helps stabilize things as well. A 15-minute walk after meals. So my dad was pre-diabetic, And he found that just taking a walk after meals, that he never had to take his medication for prediabetes, and he was able to manage it that way and never get into a diabetic range. And then manage stress. So hypothalamus support is an herbal product that we have through Youngevity that I recommend to so many people. Your hypothalamus regulates your adrenals and other glands within your body that produce stress hormones. If you start all the way at the top of the cascade, which is the hypothalamus, then it's going to regulate everything downstream. Get plenty of sleep, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, minimum. If you go to bed after 10 o'clock, there's a lot of functions that are happening with your body, and we could do a whole session just on this. That there's things that your liver's doing, there's things that your adrenals are doing, you're detoxing, you're cleansing, and if you're missing out on sleep, then those things aren't happening, and you're creating problems for yourself. It also increases belly fat, it increases cortisol. So if you want to lose weight, you have to sleep. It's very important. Deep breathing. Manage your stress that way. When you focus on counting your breaths in and your breaths out, it takes your mind off of whatever's stressing you, and it just kind of resets things. And it's biblical too. We can talk about that another time. Essential oils, we have a wonderful essential oil line that has some wonderful certifications that no other oils in this country have. Very high standards. Essential oils are great for managing stress. Everybody knows lavender is good, frankincense, all of these things that are very relaxing. This is our founder, Dr. Joel Wallach. We've already talked about him a little bit. All of these products he has formulated, and it's based on all of his research, his 36,000 autopsies that he's done. He's been published over 75 times in medical and scientific journals, nominated for a Nobel Prize. Amazing, amazing man. Eliminated over 900 diseases. This book here, there's probably over 250 million copies in circulation now. It's rapidly increasing. People have them on CDs, they have them on tapes, and they make copies themselves. So there's probably more than that. There's probably, I don't know, 500 million in circulation. And he's got all this experience with animals and humans. So this is Youngevity. And there's more to our company than just nutrition. It's really exciting. This is the center of our company, but the basis, our base philosophy is centered around nutrition, but it's also to switch your shopping. We have wonderful products that are all health focused, high quality. They take extra caution with how they're produced. They're non-GMO, they're organic. They don't contain things that cause cancer. Our mineral makeup only contains 5 ingredients. And it doesn't contain any of the ingredients that are going to make you sick, like some other products that are way more expensive. Weight loss products, we've already talked about that. Scrapbooking, so there's stuff for your pets, there's utilities, there's oodles and oodles of things that are available to you. Coffee, energy drinks, chocolate, even chocolate that has probiotics in it and that are good for you. So this is just a flavor of what we're about, but there's a piece of Youngevity that touches every part of your life. And it's a wonderful company to be a part of. And we talked a little bit about the cost of the products and how it compares to being sick. So the cost of being healthy versus being sick. And even better than the low cost of being healthy is to get your products for free. And I'm going to ask Joanne to come back up here and tell us about how to get our products for free, and even how to make this a business that can set you financially free. So thank you so much. Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you, Julie. Doesn't she just do an amazing job of just really explaining to us all the great things that we can do to make ourselves healthier without it costing us much? So thank you, Julie, very much.
Thank you.
So I'm going to, let's see if okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Youngevity and a little bit about how you can get your products for free. So Julie has told you a lot about Dr. Wallach. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Youngevity itself. It was founded in 1997. Dr. Wallach actually initially had his own practice. And in doing that, he realized that he could not see enough people, and the magnitude of people needing the products that he had developed was was just overwhelming. And so he and his son here, Steve, and his daughter-in-law, Michelle, and his wife sat down and decided to start a network marketing company called Youngevity. And that was in 1997. And I'm so thankful that they did that, because just I myself and my husband have been so blessed by being a part of such an amazing company. Like I said, they were founded in 97. Our headquarters are in San Diego, but we also have offices in Boston, Salt Lake City, New Zealand, and we're opening up offices all over the world on a regular basis. We are traded on the stock market, and our symbol is YGYI. You can look that up. And the other beautiful thing is that we have many ambassadors that have come alongside of Youngevity because they realize the importance of all of these products. And you can see here Mary Lou Henner. She is one of our ambassadors, amazing woman. I've heard her speak 3 or 4 different times. She was an actress. Many of you probably remember the show Taxi. Loved her on that show. And she speaks for Youngevity a lot. Theo Radcliffe, basketball player, amazing testimony. Dr. Wallach connected with him. He was told he would never play basketball again. They got together, Dr. Wallach put him on a protocol, and he played several more years, and he gives him all the credit for that. You can see the rest of these people, all very influential, all really believe in Dr. Wallach and the mission of Youngevity. Sorry. So this is how you basically get your product for free. So Julie talked about the cost of the product. This is the initial pack, the 90 for life. So when you purchase that, and I'm a testimony, and I'm people here in the room that have joined me in this mission. When you start taking this product, you will want to tell other people about it. So if you go to a good movie, I went to a good movie about a month ago. I can't even tell you how many people I told about it, because it was a really great movie. If you find a good restaurant, do you tell people about the good restaurant?
Yes.
Well, that's what happens when you take this product. You start taking it, you start feeling better. Your brother has something wrong. You know other people that will benefit from it. You automatically start telling people. So the way that you get your product for free, when you start taking it, I always say, think of 3 friends or 3 family members that you know would benefit from this. You just sit down with them, get them with Julie, get them with myself, tell them about the product. Tell them how it's helping you. When they buy a Healthy Start pack, 3 of your friends or 3 of your family members in the month, your product is free. If you tell somebody about a great movie that you loved, and 3 of them go, is the movie free?
No.
Is the food at the restaurant free?
No.
Is this a good deal?
Yes.
Right? So Youngevity's products, and again, like she said, they're designed to really get us healthy. From the top of your head, I like to say, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, right? And that's biblical too, right?
Yeah.
So what Youngevity has designed this so that anybody can get into this as a business and get their product for free. We have one way which you sign up for $25. That enables you to buy the product at the discounted price. It also allows you to get paid commissions. Now that's one way, but the best way is absolutely the best way is our CEO Mega Pack. And we do have different packs that are available. This is just one of them. And in that pack, it's $4.99. That when you buy that pack, you are automatically a CEO of your own company. Automatically. And in that pack, you get $499. Actually, you get over $500 worth of product. It also gives you the business model to operate. It gives you leadership training. It makes you eligible for the Silver Mercedes Club. which gives you a car payment every month when you qualify. And by the way, John and I have been getting that for about 2.5 years. Every month, never missed a month. Stock options, we also have been just blessed to get stock options from the company at no cost to us. Infinity bonuses, and like I said, over $500 worth of product. Now the beautiful thing that I love about this, my husband and I were in partnership in another company, a real estate company. We had 4 offices here in northern Colorado. When we started that company, we had to buy a franchise. That franchise cost us $25,000. That $25,000 gave us no product, gave us no equipment to run the company, gave us no materials, gave us no office space, because to run a company you have to have office space, right? That costs you money. It was $25,000 merely to be able to say that we were that particular brand. Here for $4.99, you are able to say that you are a Youngevity CEO, you have your own company, and you got $500 worth of product. And then they continue to pay you. You get to run the company the way you want to run it. You don't have the expense of an office. And I promise you, this is the best deal out there. Network marketing makes money. The beautiful thing in the company that we did own, they distributed profits. They had a method to distribute profits through the same method that we distribute them, through the 7 levels. And I can tell you that today I still get a check. I don't sell real estate, I don't own the company. That's the same thing with Youngevity. When you build something in the network marketing system, that allows you to get paid even when you're not working. And another testimony that my husband and I have, over and over, when we've gone away on a vacation or taken a trip, Marcia is at home making me money. Right, Marcia?
I am.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's what I love about this. Okay, so fast track to success. There we go. So if you buy the CEO Mega Pack, here's what you do. You sign up your first person, like Marcia was one of my first people. I received $133 when I did that. When I signed up the second person, another $133. The third person, another $133. Now when you add those together, that's $399, right? Now I also got my Healthy Start Pack for free. So how much money did I make? And how much money did it cost me to become a CEO? So did I make money already?
Yep.
I already made $50. And I've got over $500 worth of product. Is that a sweet deal?
Sweet deal.
Sweet deal. Okay, we also have something called coding bonuses. So, roll this forward. So our coding bonuses, there are certain ranks that you achieve as you build your business. When you reach the regional level, which is one of the ranks, every time you sign up somebody that buys a CEO pack, you get a coding bonus of $15. At the executive level, you get $35. At the senior executive marketing level, you get $100, and it goes down. So that is in addition to the money that I showed you before. The other thing that we get is commissions. So both of these are paid to the infinity. Typically network companies will go down 7 levels. Our bonuses actually go to infinity. So that means that as you build your levels, like for instance Marcia, she's built people underneath her. I don't even know some of the people that are underneath her. I don't even know some of the people that my team has signed up, but I still get paid on that. And you get paid on that to infinity. It does not stop. And that's really amazing to get paid like that. And even if you stopped, but those people continued, you would still continue to get paid. That's the beautiful part of network marketing. I think my finger is not working very good here. We also have, when you sign up with the CEO pack, you get paid in 10, you're eligible to be paid in 10 different ways. So you get retail profits, you get commissions, so that's the residual income. When Marcia signs up, now I only signed her up one time, but every time she buys product, I get paid. Every time she buys product, I get paid. That's what the residual income is. We get the coding bonuses, which I talked about. We talked about the fast start and the quick start. Then as you build your business, there are infinite leadership bonuses. Car bonus is great. When I get that $300 in our account, here's the other beautiful part. I don't want to forget this. Many companies will say you get a car bonus, but in order to get that car bonus, you have to buy a car. The beautiful thing with longevity is that, like for John and I, we already had a good car. We didn't want to buy another car. So that's just additional money that goes into our account every month. Dream car giveaway. We know some people that have gotten actually dream cars. Tom Chenault has a beautiful car. Once he got to that level, they said, what kind of car do you want? He picked it out. They paid for it. Gave him the keys. Revenue sharing, and then the stock option, which is really another amazing, I actually call it a gift, but when you reach SEMD level, you get stock options. And I don't know if you know what stock options are, but whatever the stock, I believe today it's trading somewhere in the 30 cent. Okay, so if you got some stock options today, and you decided to hold on to them, and then the stock goes to 50 cents, and you decide to sell them, you pay the 30, you get the profit. But you don't have to do that till you sell them. So we have stock options, holding them in our hand. They're already worth money. They gave them to us. If we chose, and when we got them, they were way less than even what they are today. If we chose to sell them today, we would make money. That's the beauty of stock options. And with all the great things that longevity is doing and expanding into all the other markets, into coffee, into the mineral makeups, the oils, our stocks are really posed to go up. Okay, so it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Start using the product. That was the big kicker for us. We started using the product. And I could tell you another whole story of being on it for 3 months, and then my husband went in for heart surgery. Amazing. Recovery was, the doctors were amazed. So start using the product, because I guarantee you will have your own testimony. Purchase the CEO Mega Pack. We have some applications for you. Just do it today. Don't wait. There's no reason to wait. Because your health, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, the money doesn't matter. But money is nice too, right? We need money to live. And then set your personal goals. Whoever you came with today, get with them. They'll help you set your goals. They'll help you fill out the application. But I guarantee you it was one of the best decisions my husband and I made. And much more fun than my previous career, although it was very good to me. Okay. Now, how did that happen?
I think we're done.
Okay, all right.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much.